Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. It's April the 15th. It's 2000. What am I doing here? What am I trying to do? Oh, I'm already good. I'm trying to do something I've already done. April the 15th, 2021. It's another Technical Alpha podcast. Got a great show lined up for you today. Hope you guys are all doing well out there in the midst of the crazy. Oh, God. Jeff, my life is a fucking meme, bro. I've gone through about 4 chairs. I think I've bought and returned about 15 ass cushions, back cushions, lumbar supports. Doesn't matter. I've gone through the expense of Herman Miller's down through whatever the fuck I can get my hands on. My life is a fucking meme. Alright, so I'm just trying to adjust myself on these fucking cushions. But yeah, it's another Tech Health podcast, and before we get started here, if it's first time, by the way, we talk about video games, movies, television, all sorts of good stuff, and then for some reason, people want to hear us talk about, things that they ask us, as if our opinions mean literally anything. And we thank them for it, and they sometimes even pay us for it, which, by the way, I'm going to plug right away with patreon.com/LAGTV, LAGTV. We're actually up this week, Jeff.
Whoa!
3 whole patrons.
Damn, I can feed my son this week?
3! Count them. Mr.
Hell
Black,
yeah.
how was your week?
It's been another week. I mean, I'm almost done the renovations on the duplex. We should be done, I would say, by Saturday the latest, probably tomorrow. But I would say Saturday is going to be done, then I can rent that out.
Is that the one that had the flood?
Yeah. So we got the back traps put in there, and
good.
Got all the new flooring and everything, baseboards and drywall, and all kinds of new plumbing and everything else that went down. So got all of it done. Bought a
Wonderful.
new fridge and stove, and
here's a question: is it any easier to get a fridge and stove now than it was a few months ago?
It only was because the ones that I bought were non-stainless steel. So like everything in this isn't like a high-end unit.
Yeah.
So you just really just need good working, competent.
So apparently all the hard to get stuff are people balling out of control buying expensive stainless steel appliances.
Yeah, well, the stainless steel appliances aren't that much more expensive than non-stainless. It's
that is true. It's not that crazy.
It's just everybody buys stainless over non-stainless.
Yeah.
That's just so a lot of it is out of stock, but just naturally it's a little bit easier because things are opening up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the world is starting to open up again, and there's
the Suez Canal is no longer blocked.
Yes. Yeah. So there's back 6 months ago, 9 months ago, when there was a major lockdown, when shit was out of stock, it was out of stock for a long time. So it's still a lot easier now. So yeah.
You ever laugh so hard you give yourself a temporary headache? I just did that when I fucking laughed there. That was impressive.
Damn.
Fuck. Yeah. Giving it my all, Jeff.
Giving
it my all. But yeah, well, that's good. Good to see that that's finally coming to a close, and hopefully no other properties have some sort of random catastrophic plumbing failure for the foreseeable future. My week was just another week. Nothing crazy. What is my dad mowing the lawn? He is.
I can't hear it.
Well, okay. Well, I know it's not that I was worried about you hearing it. I was just confused as to why I was hearing a lot. Is the grass even long enough to
listen,
mow?
Adam? It doesn't matter. The sun is out for the first time in 7 months, so go out there and enjoy it.
I think
it's a reason to get out. Your dad just wants to get out the house, man. Leave him alone. He just needs to get the fuck out the house.
Speaking of, he got his first dose of the vaccine here yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. He got his first Pfizer vax yesterday.
My mom got hers. She gets her second, I think, next week. My grandmother's already got hers.
That's quick. Holy shit.
Well, my mom works at a hospital, right? So
they're actually giving them within a reasonable.
Yeah. She works in the hospital. So my mom got hers, I think, 2 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago. I think she gets her second dose next week.
Oh, okay.
And my grandmother is fully vaccinated now. And Kayla's dad got his because he works in a hospital too. So he got his first shot, I think, a couple days ago.
Yeah, N still does not have her first.
Well, she's young.
She's
That's probably
young
why.
as
Yeah.
part of it. Although a lot of our coworkers already have it as well. It's the area of the hospital that she's in that they consider it lower risk, so they're not rushing to get that out. And then and then we'll wait and see. Right now, the automatically scheduled, she's scheduled for her first, but the automatically scheduled second dose is like fucking 4 months after, which is why
Okay.
when you said she was like scheduled for the second dose so quick, I was like, huh, holy shit. But yeah, we'll see. At least Dad's done now. We're waiting for Mom to be able to get hers, which is obviously priority because she's in with my grandmother all the time. I was kind of disappointed in our government. So like they don't have a solution for bedridden elderly in terms of vaccines. So there's no to the home vaccination. So when they called to ask to schedule for my grandmother to come in and get her vaccine, Mom was like, well, we can't get her. We physically cannot move her to a location to do that. She can't leave the house. And so, like, she gets tired sitting up using the washroom for like 45 seconds. We can't get her to a location. So, Mom was like, is it possible? I'm already in an older age group anyway. Is it possible for me to take hers as I'm her primary caregiver and I'm with her 24 hours a day?
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And they would not give her the vaccine. So, get fucked. So now we're waiting to see on that. But either way, it's good to hear that that we're starting to finally get some.
Yeah,
It's finally get some running. But yeah, my week, other than watching Dad mow the lawn, my week has been another week. I don't think I got much Outriders done. I did do one long Outriders stream in the last week. Played like 12 or 13 hours of it or some shit. It's a video game that you can play and spend $70 on. That's about the highest praise I can give Outriders. I'm scared to continue playing it because until today, in fact, it's one of our topics, but until today, they still had a bug where your inventory could get wiped. So people had like 90 hours into the game and had all this high-end gear, and it's gone. And there was no fix for it. And they still don't have a fix to get the stuff back, so I was like a little sketchy on whether or not I was going to still play some more until they had it fixed, but yeah. Other than that, Hearthstone, and then just I took 2 days off just because my feet and ankles have been swelling like a motherfucker. So I've got a doctor's appointment coming up next week for that, and otherwise I'm playing Hearthstone because I can stand and play it at the same time. Either way, it's time for some video game news, Mr. Black. Let's get on this right away. Sony is really all in on The Last of Us as they announced a remake of the original being in the works. This came, I want to say this came like either podcast day or immediately after podcast day. Either way, this was apparently already being worked on to some degree internally, but that went awry, and now they actually have Naughty Dog redoing the game again, or a portion of Naughty Dog remaking the game. So this is a game that has the PS3 release, then it had the HD remaster for the PlayStation 4, and now it's getting a remake on the PlayStation 5. And they're using a lot of, I mean, this is it's not a remaster, it's a remake. So they're using a lot of resources to make this happen. And in fact, they're pulling people from other studios in-house to aid Naughty Dog in this remake. So they're not just putting it on Naughty Dog, but they are basically spending way more resources on this. And there was a lot of discussion on the internet, obviously, in the last week, as to whether or not this is even necessary or if anyone even wants this. Because they already have the PS4 remaster that looks amazing, and it already is a really good game. So I'm like, and it's not even that old. So nobody knows what's going on with that, and they're gonna probably end up paying for, they're gonna charge like $70 fucking dollars.
Oh yeah.
For this remake, and when they could be spending those resources making other fucking video games. But this will play into some other stuff here that I've got to discuss that extends off of what we discussed last week with Sony. But as I know I think you played the original.
Yeah, I beat it. Yep.
Yeah, and you beat it. And you played? Did you play the new one as well? Did you play part 2?
I did. I didn't finish it though.
Okay.
But I got really far into it. I was probably like three quarters of the way through.
And what was your take on that one?
I mean, the reason why I really stopped playing it was more of just like the interest in me playing it on stream was really not there. You know, that's really the only reason why I didn't finish it. I thought the game was fine. It was more than competent. It looked amazing.
Yeah,
like
of
it
course.
was one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. The story, like everybody freaked out about the story and stuff. Like I got to the big parts where it was like, oh my God, no. And I was totally fine with it, right?
Yeah.
Especially in an era of Game of Thrones and stuff. Like it was just like it was almost predictable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't have a problem. I know why the diehards were upset and stuff. Like I get it, but at the same time, like I thought it was a good game.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it. I'm sure by the time I'd be finished, it'd probably be like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. It was totally fine experience.
So obviously then you're not in the market for a remake of the original.
Fuck that. I feel like I just played the original like 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, when was the original?
Probably in like 2013 or 2014.
Was it that late into the cycle?
Maybe not. Maybe it was 2015.
No, I think it was
I think it was probably 2014.
No, I think the original release was like the because you have to remember it was PS3. Oh no, it was that late in the PS3's life cycle. What?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that came out like at like
it was
the
like right
year that okay, so yeah, it was 2013.
Yeah.
So this game is I mean, it's cresting. I mean, its 8th anniversary will be in a month.
Yeah.
And it's already gotten a remaster on the PS4, and now it's going to get a remake, and it hasn't even hit a decade yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's no wonder it feels like you only played it just yesterday. I mean, yeah, it's
but
been a long time.
I think they're doing this, like, the only thing that makes sense is they're probably doing this to, like, push the TV show. Because they are making the Last of Us series.
Just to keep the name out in the open as long as possible.
Yeah, and it'll probably sell a lot of copies. You know, there's like probably an entire generation that just hasn't played it.
I'm going to be really intrigued with how many copies it sells. Like that's going to be very.
Oh, it'll still sell millions.
Very intrigued. Well, it will be for me. It will be will it recoup costs because it's a remake. It's not a remaster. So it's going to have to for a game like that to be remade. I mean, those aren't low budget games. Those are fucking like.
Yeah.
They spend Naughty Dog spends a few dollars when they go out and make a video game. So I'm sure they will, but what I'm wondering is if it's really worth pulling their like Sony's best talent and putting them back on a project from 8 years ago. I don't know. We'll see. But more Sony stuff here. They do in fact apparently have something in the works for Game Pass, but Jim Ryan, the CEO, said that news will come in the future when asked about what it could be. So they have something that they're not ready to talk about yet. I would be shocked if we got further than E3 season and we didn't hear about an answer from Sony. Just because, and I know we semi-talked about this last week, but this is a bit more detailed than just the kind of high-level question I asked last week. What I have here in my notes, as I've written it down, is no, but really, what the fuck is Sony doing? Because if you look at every move that they've made since they lost their last CEO in 2019, and I cannot think of his fucking name off the top of my head because all I can think of is Jim Ryan right now. He did an amazing job while he was there. And they parted ways in 2019, he and Sony, after he became like the head of the global, when they said there was like an internal power struggle, which is usually he wanted to go in one direction with the PlayStation, and Sony wanted to go in another direction. And that was very telling to me when that first happened because there was so much success. I mean, think of the success of the PlayStation 4. It's the most successful PlayStation basically of all time by no small margin. I mean, the amount of fucking consoles that they moved and the amount of games that they moved and the studios that they built up in that generation and created the stuff that we are now, that they're basically living off of now with the PlayStation 5, is enormous. There was zero faults that this guy made. He made zero missteps. Now, granted, he didn't exactly have a lot of pressure because Xbox couldn't have possibly had a worse fucking go with last generation. So it's not like he had to, like, you know, actually have his guard up. But at the same time, sometimes it's even easier to make mistakes when you have no pressure, right? You get lazy. But he wasn't lazy. He fucked the game up. He came in and he fucked everyone over. I made it even worse for Xbox. And then they fucking go ahead and separate, part ways. So that was very telling. So now we got Jim Ryan, and Jim Ryan is a very different CEO from him. Sean Layden, thank you, Maverick. So very different from Sean. Jim Ryan is like the guy that you pulled from another industry that was only peripherally interested in video games, probably doesn't play a lot of them himself, and is a good businessman, but doesn't give a fuck about games. So you brought him in because as Sony wants to like I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We don't want to mix anything up. We want to push this narrative that we're the best place to play games. So they bring him in and he's been doing just that. He hasn't had to do a hell of a lot up to this point. It's only 2019 that he came in. It's not like he had a lot to do. Pandemic year 2020. So he like took over the reins for the very last, like the 11th hour of PlayStation 5's release. And now we're just seeing his actual plans now kind of starting to become more public as we're moving forward. So what are those plans? Well, for one, they're doubling, obviously, and tripling down on AAA only shit. You do not hear anything below AAA coming out of Sony. They exist, but they relegate them to blog posts on their website. It's like, oh, we have some indie games, and yeah, we put a blog post up, go read about our indie games. It's like they're the black sheep of the family. Yeah, we got some, but we don't want to talk about them because what we want to do is we want to talk about nothing but these $700 million budget quadruple A video games that we want you to believe are worth the $70 price tag, and that our console is as expensive as it is because we're the best place to play games. We are the Ferrari of video game consoles. We are the price premium for a reason. We're so price premium, we don't even want to talk about the fact that we technically have indie games on our platform. We don't even want to mention it. It's plebeian shit. That shit that costs $14.99, fuck it. We don't want to hear about it. We want the $70, the $69.99, $79.99. That's the kind of games you can experience on the PlayStation. So we know that they're doubling and tripling down on that. And they've done so much that they are even, like I just mentioned, stripping their own teams to support other studios, like I just mentioned with Naughty Dog for The Last of Us remake. And perhaps the boldest fucking move I've seen them make so far was them shuttering Japan Studios, I think it was last year. So Japan Studios is one of those things that if you didn't pay attention to the labels on the games, you probably wouldn't know what games they made. But they've been with Sony for 24 years. It's a hot fucking minute. 24. It's basically the life of the fucking brand. 24 years, more or less, right? Okay, so they made everything from like the very first 3D platformer for PlayStation all the way up to being involved in the launch titles for the PlayStation 5. That's their span of dedication. Now, to list some of the games that you may recognize that Sony Japan Studios has put out over the years: Legend of Dragoon, Ape Escape, Eco, Shadow of the Colossus, Demon Souls, Gravity Rush, Bloodborne, and they were included in the remake of Demon Souls here on the PlayStation 5 launch. That's just a sample. Those are some of Sony's biggest and most core fucking franchises that they've had over the life of the console, just before Naughty Dog came along. I think people associate Naughty Dog with Sony now more than anything because of The Last of Us and Uncharted. But if you took Last of Us and Uncharted out, pretty much everything I just listed is Sony in the modern era, and even before. They shuttered that entire fucking studio and said bye-bye. They shuttered it so fast and ended their contract with Blue Point Studios, who did the remake for Demon Souls, so fast they didn't even have time to patch the game for bugs. They are separating themselves from absolutely fucking everything that isn't Like, basically, Naughty Dog pumping out the same fucking two intellectual properties at whatever quadruple, quintuple A, fucking shit that they can get their hands on. Sony stepping away from a Japan-centric thing is also crazy because it's a Japanese fucking company. And Japanese companies normally put Japan ahead of literally everywhere else when possible. So that's another huge indication of where exactly they're going. Jeff Grubb, who is a journalist and a writer for, often writes for Games Beat, wrote, as far as I'm concerned, accurately this week, that PlayStation's new head Jim Ryan is making the play to simply sell a premium narrative, hoping that it works out based on last generation's success. And while I agree with that, as we talked about last week, and I think we both agree that this is a short-term success solution that is inevitably going to cause them problems and fail versus Microsoft's long game that they've been piecing together. If they don't wisen up to the fact that this is a short game play right now. Because, last generation's narrative was more or less we're where you go to play games, which was easy because Microsoft had no games. So it was like the easiest narrative ever. It's like, you want to play some good-ass fucking video games? Buy a PlayStation 4. Because Phil Spencer took over the Xbox One, which was this is where you come to watch NFL games as a PVR on your fucking console, and had to somehow spin that shit in the rest of the life cycle of the Xbox One. So it was easy. And now they're trying to push this premium thing as a thing on the back of Sean Layden's work on the PS4. So I know we talked about that strategy versus the Xbox in the long term, but do you think that Jim Ryan is going to be successful as a CEO here in the long term? Do you think that he might end up being replaced based on the moves he's making now in the not too distant future?
I don't know, man. I mean, it could go one way or the other. And I think, I don't know. Maybe there's something that we just don't know yet. But at the same time, it's like, what else could there really be? It's tough. I think.
I mean, we know they have to. I mean, we know that at least Jim Ryan is hinting that they have a solution for the Xbox Game Pass problem. But even if they have that, what are they going to put on it? If all they've got is AAA Naughty Dog shit being cranked out because they've shut down every other avenue for the console.
I mean, I guess you put down all those games that you just listed, Ape Escape, fucking Shadow of Colossus, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, you throw, Legend of Dragoon, you throw them all on there. I really don't know. If I had to guess, it just seems as though Sony is doing the same mistakes that Xbox did during the 360, where
or you mean early Xbox One, not 360?
Early Xbox One.
Yeah.
Where they thought we wanted something, and they went heavy in the paint on that. Watch football.
Hell yeah, football.
Watch your sports, and we're more than just a gaming machine. We're a home entertainment system, and we're really driving that home. And I think Sony is gambling here. We'll see if it pays off, but something tells me that in about 3 years, we're going to see a Sony press conference where they come out and they say, "Listen, we've listened." And
the classic corporate, "We listened to you guys on our forums."
That's it, right? I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see you guys have spoken out, and we've listened, and we're going to be all about the games now, indie games, and the things that made you love us in the first place. I think we're going to see that in 3 to 4 years when this inevitably smacks them back in the face. Because, I mean, this speaks to me. Like, what they're doing speaks to me as a consumer, where, I only want to play the best of the best, I guess. Like, you know, if they're going for the premium thing, which it's obvious they are,
Yeah.
it speaks to me, but I'm not sure it speaks to the vast majority of people that bought PlayStation and stuck with PlayStation for the games like the ones that you just mentioned, you know, the Demon Souls, the Shadow of Colossus, you know, it's those games that made people fall in love with Sony.
Yeah.
It's those memories is what's turned people into diehard Sony fans. And unfortunately, I just don't see them. I just don't see how this works, but I could be wrong. There's a reason why Sony is successful and they know what they're doing, but it's from the outside looking in, it's looking like a train wreck that everybody else can see except Sony. And I don't know, like, it all depends on what their trump card is, right? Because if they're saying they've got an answer for it, I mean, they really might have the answer. Like, you've got to have an answer if you're going to get rid of this Japanese-based powerhouse that has been with you since almost inception. They got to have something, right, that we just don't know about.
You know what they have, Jeff?
Holding it close to their chest. I don't know.
You know what they have, Jeff?
They have quadruple A titles, Adam. That's what they have.
No. They've got something better than that. They got Evo.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's there's just so many things that they're doing that I'm going, what are they doing?
Yeah,
Like, this
exactly.
doesn't make sense.
It's so hectic that it does make you think. Like, it makes so little sense that you're thinking there has to be something we don't know, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're watching a TV show and everything is going wrong in ways that you were like, how is any of this what is the M. Night Shyamalan plot twist? Where is Jim Ryan's M. Night Shyamalan plot twist? Or is this going to turn into another Avatar: The Last Airbender, Jeff?
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's not an Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, here's the thing, man. Sony is so far ahead, like, just in terms of it, like, it's just its name brand and the people that have love for Sony, that they can actually afford to take risks. You know, Xbox just can't afford to take any risks.
Which is funny because they're taking the most risk right now of the two. Like, Sony's playing the safest. I mean, these moves are obviously, to the rest of us, we're thinking this can't be safe. You're axing most of your good shit, but they're doubling down on the already proven.
Yes, they're basically saying, like, hey, we're fucking king shit here.
Yeah,
and they're just hoping to God that, you know, we're making that analogy. It's like, hey, I'm a striker fighter, right? I've got hands like a motherfucker, and all they're doing is hoping that they don't run into Khabib. You know, let's just hope there's no Khabib that shows up, because we're going to be fucked if they do, because we're just not ready to be on the ground. You know, we've just have such success on our feet that there's just, you know, it's either arrogance and cockiness, complacency, or they really have something that we don't know about, and, you know, they're just going to wow us all again, and we're just going to go, holy fuck.
I mean, they really did. This is, you know what this is reminiscent of? This is really and truly reminiscent of PlayStation 3's era. So the 360, it was the one era where Xbox really pummeled PlayStation, and PlayStation what did they do? They went in on premium. Their console was like way more fucking expensive. The architecture made it hard for developers to fucking make games because they were so hell-bent on making this super premium experience. And it wasn't necessarily just about the games. It became more of that towards the end of the console's life cycle. And that's exactly what happened with Xbox One. They went for a totally different fucking play, and then the end of the life cycle, suddenly it started to breathe life back into itself. And now Sony's making the same. It's this weird fucking nobody ever learns from the past thing, where they pass the baton back and forth, and the only company not having a chance at holding the baton is Nintendo.
Yep.
Except for the weird kind of quasi misstep with the GameCube and the Wii U. You know, it never bothers them because their handheld market always, like, compensates for whatever the fuck they do consoles on. It's just Microsoft and Sony playing, you know, catch it, you know, back out in the backyard with who's gonna fucking fumble the next entire console cycle. So, man, I don't know. I cannot fucking wait for the E3 and Summer Games season, where we're going to be seeing the majority of the next year to 2 years of plays from these companies, because especially Sony, we already know Microsoft's play. They're very open.
All in. Yeah, they're like, hey,
they're not holding anything back.
This is what you see is what you get. Game Pass.
Yeah.
And shitty Master Chief. This is
That's it.
this is what you're getting, right? Sony, on the other hand, we're going, what in the fuck do you have in store for us? Because yeah, we like you. Most of us got your console if we can get one, but where are the games I love?
Nobody really knows.
So we'll find out.
Question marks.
Godspeed.
Outriders. Like I was mentioning earlier in the intro as well, still struggling with severe connection issues and bugs that are costing players dozens of hours of progress by wiping their inventory. Jim Sterling, or I think he's going by, or she is going by the name now, Stephanie Sterling, has been famously having horrific issues. I don't think they've gotten onto the game for 5 minutes in the last week because the server connection issues are so bad. And I thankfully, when I played, I haven't experienced much of the connection issues. We had some minor co-op stuff when we played this past week, but we didn't experience, thankfully, the wiping of the inventory. However, speaking to that, 2 hours before this podcast, roughly 2 hours ago or so, they released a patch that is supposed to fix or stop the inventory wipes from happening. However, they still don't have a solution for getting the items that people have lost back to them. So that is still apparently being worked on, some sort of solution. We don't know if it will 100% be something that's rectifiable, but they're working on it, apparently. And now, at least, theoretically, they're going to monitor it over the weekend, apparently. They said in their post. But theoretically, no more inventories should suddenly get wiped. So you can at least play Outriders. If you can get on a server, you can play Outriders without worrying about losing your incredibly epic fucking weapons that you just spent 80 hours grinding for on the game. This is like it's been such a friggin' example of why always online games are just such a fucking gamble. Because basically you pay the money up front, and then the onus is not only on the player to constantly have an internet connection, but like it's also the servers for the game have to be fucking up to play the damn game. And it's just like it's always going to result in some stupid fuckery like this at some point. So all the best to them as they try and figure out whatever is causing those issues, because as we all know, fixing bugs is a pain in the ass. Epic Game Store has lost nearly $440 million between 2019 and 2020 in their bid to try and buy their way into the PC storefront space, of course, versus Steam chiefly. That is mostly made up of their minimum guarantees, which is we're going to give you X dollars to make your game exclusive on our platform for 6 months or whatever. That's pretty much the money that they spent on just that in 2019 and 2020. Apparently, they are very much profitable from their revenue split that they have, which is only 12%, which is significantly lower than other platforms. That's not been an issue. All of the money that's been going out has been them buying their position in by making these exclusive to their platform for a certain period of time with that upfront guarantee for the developers. So $440 million so far. They estimate, this is information that came out of, coincidentally, the Apple versus Epic Game Store or Epic lawsuit that is still apparently ongoing, that they expect the service to be profitable by 2023. That's Epic. Whereas Apple is saying that they had intel that internally at Epic they were originally suggesting that it might not be profitable until 2027. If that was the case, even if it was 2023, that means that by the time they're actually hitting profitability on the Epic Game Store, they would have already spent nearly $1 billion buying their way into the market, which sounds like a lot of money, because it is. However, you have to remember.
Dude, $1 billion to Epic?
You have to remember.
Is quite literally
nothing.
Literally nothing. It's like me. It's no small amount of money. But in layman's terms,
but to them,
in layman's terms, it's like me going to buy a
TV,
$1,000 TV.
Yeah.
That's honest. Like when you really think about the grand scale of things,
that's about
it's
it.
like, yeah, it's not a small amount of money, but it's not like I'm gonna go bankrupt from buying a TV. You know, it's a small amount of money for them to buy in a massive market that is damn near impossible for anybody else to buy into, except for somebody like Epic, who has got an insane amount of money to burn. Plus, they can claim all those losses anyway.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, man, it's a huge win. Yeah, if you said $10 billion, then you start to go, okay, they're feeling that dent. It still ain't breaking them. It still ain't going to be like, oh my God, we're going under $10 billion. It's over.
But we're going to have to live on ramen for a little while.
We're going to be on fucking beans and rice and beans for a bit. It's going to suck. You know, these bonuses checks ain't going out.
No.
Things are going to be rough, but we'll get there. It's $1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they have months where they're making well over $1 billion and just straight profit. So it's insane.
Here's the deal. So just from I believe it's just from Fortnite alone. As of, what is it? I had it here. As of April of 2020, so about a year ago, their average month was roughly $400 million on Fortnite. So
there you go.
Basically at the end of the year, apparently, if you did the math, if you looked into it, it's an estimate that they had in profit. So this is after expenses and everything, just shy of $4 billion. So they've got $1 billion to spare. They can burn that.
And that's over what, a 2 or 3 year period?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on.
So literally nothing. And that's to this point, they've estimated that they have somewhere between, I think, 10 and 12% of the market currently. So they've already made a decent entry point. And their user base is roughly half of Steam's right now. I don't know what the activity level is, probably dramatically different, but the actual user base is about half of. So it's working to this point. Yep. It's doing its deal. So yeah, they're going to be.
Think about Netflix, right? Netflix is billions of dollars in debt still.
Yeah,
billions,
and they are not stopping.
They're not stopping because they are buying a market. They have a massive share, and in the long run, they are going to just absolutely pull and rake in endless amounts of money. That is exactly what Epic Games is doing. They're just getting in on the thing. Like Steam just has the market, and finally somebody can come up to the juggernaut and say, hey, what's up? I've got a few billion to burn. No problem.
Hold on. Just because we're talking about monthly and whatever, I was just like, yeah, I wonder how Star Citizen's doing. Let's just check in. I mean, Star Citizen
can afford to lose $400 million at this point.
I'm just intrigued because it's been a little, it's been a hot minute since we've hopped in. All right, so, all right, so they did just shy of they did about 5 mil in February, and for March they did also close to roughly 5 mil. So they're still at a nice solid. Other than the January dip, which was just after obviously everyone bought shit for Christmas, right? Because their Christmas month, their November month was just fucking huge, $16-17 million. So after that, January was like a cool 3.4 million. Now we're back up to averaging about 5 mil a month. The total raised is $354,500,000 spread amongst 3 million Star Citizens, as they are called. So, they're making, Epic Games making roughly 1 Star Citizen per month in revenue off of Fortnite.
In profit. Remember, that's profit.
No, it's not 400 million profit. That's revenue.
Oh,
no, yeah.
I was gonna say, whoa.
Yeah, no, that's a different animal. You get your 400 million profit. Oh my God. No, that would be, holy shit. They'd be spending a lot more than $1 billion if they were making 400 mil in profit.
I mean, even still, bro.
That's a lot of money.
$1 billion is it might be 2 TVs now.
Yeah, it's 2. Yeah, whopping two
2 TVs. One for the living room, one for the basement.
Got one on sale.
It's like you or I going out and buying a new computer. That's what that is.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
It's pretty much
in layman's terms.
So there you go. There's your update on whatever the fuck that is. In random news, Blizzard has added Lost Vikings 2 and RPM Racing to the Blizzard Arcade collection, so run out there now. And Rock and Roll Racing is getting a streamer mode and 4-player local multiplayer. I was unaware that Rock and Roll Racing was big in the Twitch world, that it would have needed a streamer mode. But here we are. Maybe they're hoping that, you know, a burgeoning Rock and Roll Racing streaming league is going to kick up here. And Lord knows at this point it'd be more popular than Overwatch League. So there's hope. There's hope. Hey, remember when Konami made games, Jeff?
I do. Back in the day.
And it used to happen. Yeah, they made some pretty good games. And then they decided to make everything a pachinko machine. Well, for the first time in a while, they're actually making a real, honest-to-God video game, Mr. Black. It's happening. We're going to see if they remember how to make one. Now, it's nothing crazy. It's mostly an indie-level kind of a game production here. It's called Getsu Fumaden. It more or less looks like a side-scrolling action title of sorts. And if I'm going to be honest with you, as pretty as the art is, it looks a hell of a lot like the old Flash games we used to play as kids. Like, it's kind of slow. The way that they've animated everything, it kind of looks like paper, so it very much looks like the Flash titles that we used to play back then. And I just don't I don't know. It's just very strange to me that they've even bothered to make another video game at this point. I mean, and why would they do this? Of all the games they could be making money off of, this is the one that Konami comes back to do. So, I'm gonna stick with the fuck Konami. Fuck them.
I ain't buying it.
No.
So.
You know who is? Pretty much
one.
nobody. Yeah. IO Interactive, speaking of almost buying, IO Interactive has said, that's the, if you don't know who that is, that's the guys who make the Hitman series of games, very popular right now for sure, has said that they have received more than a couple of really attractive buyout offers. Not surprising, the Hitman games have been pretty fucking fire for a while now. With one of those buyouts wanting to make Hitman free to play. They stuck to their guns, however. Some of these buyouts came when the company was kind of just on the verge of not being profitable enough to keep going without selling the company to somebody. But they stuck to their guns, and their latest Hitman recouped their development costs in under a week. So they're good now. So they're sticking to the independent. Your game pays for itself in 7 days. You're good.
We'll hold on to it.
We're gonna hold on to it.
Sell in another few years, and the offer will be triple that.
Anything you can perpetuate that, keep that independency going, make it happen. But yeah, there you go. So happy news. Somebody finally not getting bought out for once. Holy shit, it happened. Last little piece here. Fans have managed to make a few playable levels of a 3D Sonic game in PlayStation's Dream. Dream being their basically, it's like, if you had to, it's like RPG Maker, but 3D. And not specific to RPGs, but like, you know, go in and make your own little, like, whatever the fuck, playground kind of stuff. So over time, people have made some really impressive shit within Dream. This is probably the most impressive title I've seen so far, in that they don't just have like a concept where you're running around in an open world. They've literally made a couple of levels that are playable inside of this thing. I'm gonna switch over to the starting screen here for a moment while I get this screen up for the trailer. There we go. Now, theoretically, we shouldn't have the audio issue we had the last time we were watching YouTube. But yeah, we got that time stamped. You ready to go, Mr. Black?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. I gotta be honest. It already looks as good or better than some of the 3D Sonic games I've played from their actual studios here. So they're going to Sapphire Shore is the name of this first one. Even the loading screen looks better than some of the fucking Sonic games I've played recently. They've got the appropriate sound effects in there. So when you're watching this, you have to remember this is being made inside of Dream, which is fucking wild. It plays very much like the other recent 3D Sonic games where they've got like the targeting, heat-seeking mechanic. They've got a speedometer at the bottom of the screen to let you know just how gotta go fast you're going. But they even have like the audio shifting when he's under the water and everything. Like they've got just about everything you could imagine. This was the interesting thing for me. I haven't played some of the more open worldy Sonic 3D games, but like he actually went backwards to unlock a gate at that point, which felt strange to me because in Sonic I always felt like your goal is to just ceaselessly go forward as fast as humanly possible. But all the same. So they have, I think I saw this demo either has 2 or 3 stages, plus an overworld that has, obviously like the stage select, and just kind of like an overworld kind of feel with some, information and whatnot in it. But I don't know how people do this. If you read a lot of the comments, where this has been posted and people who have also built within Dream before, everyone is kind of mindfucked that anyone was capable of making playable levels within Dream of this magnitude. Because if you look at other Dream projects, like none of them are even remotely fucking close to being as open and large and as advanced as doing.
I mean, if you told me that this was like a new Sonic open world game, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like if you didn't know, right? Like, if you just said, hey, here's a new Sonic game, you'd be like, alright, it looks a little janky, but you know what? It doesn't look any more janky than the last Sonic games we've seen. And there's the end of the stage. Even had an achievement unlocked! The fuck? Keeps track of your times and everything? Oh, D rank. Fucking rip. Where's that S rank? But yeah, it looks pretty cool, eh? So here's the overworld. Where you can just select levels and stuff. Even the overworld looks fucking dope. So, just like when they had the, what was it called? Let's switch off of this now. Sonic Mania, which ended up being largely made by fans of Sonic, ironically ended up being far better than almost any production that the actual developers for the main Sonic games have had for years. As time goes on, it is more and more apparent that Sega needs to go out and just farm some of these fans and put them in a fucking office somewhere and have them make their games for them, because they obviously don't understand the assignment, but the fans seem to continuously, and in platforms that make no sense. Like, how in the fuck are you going to go out and make a game that looks as good as the last couple of 3D Sonic games in Dreams? How, like, as a developer, how does that make you feel? Right? You gotta have a little bit of pride for your work. I'm sure the developers do, but you know, the publisher's probably not making it any easier for them. And that's the end of our video game news this week, Mr. Black, which means it's time to sell out a little bit. You got some sell out for me?
We got patreon.com/lagtv. We got 3 new Patreons this week. So next week, let's see if we get 3 more. You know, actually, we're going to try and get 4 because, you know, we want to try and beat it from last week. So if you're listening and you haven't already thrown some money on at the Patreon, it's patreon.com/lagtv. Can do pledges like as little low as $1. And if you want to throw a 10 sheet on there, you can be part of the tech support at the final segment of the podcast. Also going to give a shout out to our sponsors, NordVPN. If you guys don't already have a VPN service, you can go to www.nordvpn.com/OTT, use the promo code OTT, and get 70% off on a 2-year term. Plus, you get a free bonus month, 30-day money-back guarantee, use up to 6 simultaneous devices at the same time, all on one account. It's 2021, guys. Get out there, stay safe, stay anonymous, watch different regions of Netflix, watch region block content on the internet, all at the click of a button. Super easy to set up. My dad uses it. That guy is literally like computer challenged. He is not good at computers at all. That's how easy it is. It is as simple as logging in, clicking the region, and you're done. You can use it on your phone, your computer, your smart TV, pretty much any application at this point. You can have your NordVPN. Hell, you can even wire it up to your router so that everything in your house pretty much is masked and you don't even have to do anything else. So definitely go check them out. NordVPN.com/OTT. Go support them. We also got Elgato. If you guys don't already got a Stream Deck, you gotta get one. It is an amazing piece of hardware that anybody and everybody can use. It's not just for streamers. It's for everyday computer enthusiasts that, want to just make their life a little bit easier. I mean, it's 2021 again, guys. We are in the generation of instant gratification. We're in the generation of I want everything at my fingertips.
I'm
as
watching
quickly
porn
as humanly
right now.
possible. There you go. So if you want to open up your favorite podcast, you want to open up your favorite stream, you want to check your computer usage, your CPU usage, your GPU usage, you want to play your favorite playlist on Spotify, you want to open up your favorite Pornhub, anything, the click of a button right on Stream Deck. Plus, you can get your Elgato key light, your Elgato ring light. I mean, we have got a little something for everybody. You know, you got microphones, you get the Wave products. You've got sound dampening for
Mr.
your
Black,
wall.
they got a new product this week.
What is it, Adam?
They got a 4-port HDMI capture card for multi-camera applications. It includes in software that allows you to switch between different variations, side by side, picture-in-picture type shit. And it all does it internally, and then you send it to whatever software that you're using. So whether you're somebody doing business meetings and you got multicam set up for boardroom type stuff, or you're a streamer that has multiple cameras like many streamers do these days, and you are running some high quality stuff, you can do that through this capture card. 4K 30 across all 4 inputs for a price that's way lower if you're in any kind of audio video. Doing any amount of multi-camera management through any capture device, it tends to be very expensive and very complicated. Elgato said, don't worry, we got you. And now they got that new product hot and ready.
There it is. Listen, guys, if there's anything hardware, computer related that focuses around lighting, audio, just quality of life, go check out Elgato. I'm sure they have a product for you. And the great thing about Elgato is every single, and I'm not even just saying this because I'm sponsored, this is just facts. Every single product that they release is for the money. It is the highest quality that you are going to get at that price point, period. Nothing that I have gotten from Elgato feels like cheap plastic. Nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. It doesn't exist. So go check them out. Elgato, link is in the description below, and that's that.
Boom. And now it's time for
movies and TV.
Sony and Netflix come together to create a deal that sees all Sony movies from 2022 releasing exclusively on Netflix, Mr. Black. After their
That's very important.
I almost forgot the tail end there. After, of course, their theatrical release window has closed, but yes, then it goes directly to Netflix exclusively. Now,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's for the whole 2022.
It is. I do believe it is. I think what it is it's not that all the movies. I could be wrong about this, so I haven't done enough research, but I read up on this last night or this morning. And from what I'm understanding is Sony has to give Netflix the ability to basically have first dibs at their movies before anyone else. So it isn't like I'm almost certain it isn't an exclusivity deal in the way that like every single movie that Sony releases is just going on Netflix and that's it. You will be able to potentially see the movies at other places, but Netflix has first dibs and first say, the ability to get those before anyone else. And yeah, that I'm pretty sure that's it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out because it won't be in the too distant future, so we'll be able to figure that out when it happens. But yeah, it sounds like it's mostly timed. Like most things, it's not like it's gonna be forever fucking exclusive to Netflix. More Netflix. Netflix to entrust Vaught Roberts. I don't know how to pronounce that first part of his hyphenated name. The guy who did Kong Skull Island, with directing and producing their live-action feature film version of Gundam. The anime, the animu, the classic animu. much beloved. That is a challenge that you got to be brave to take on, because that fandom is going to be halfway up your ass, if not all the way up your ass, over literally anything that goes wrong with that. Not that he probably cares, 'cause he's going to get paid fairly good chunk of money, knowing Netflix, to do this, but hopefully it goes well. I mean, what else other than Pacific Rim does Gundam end up looking like?
Nothing. That's it. Power Rangers.
It's Pacific Rim, Power Rangers, but will they have a big enough budget to be able to transform out of the pit?
If it's Netflix, yes. They're just throwing money all over the place, so why not?
That was my favorite part of the entire Power Rangers movie. Finally, time for Megazord. Like, guys, look, we'd love to do this in sight of the viewer, but we can't afford that much animation. How can we solve this problem? Fuck it, throw all of the fucking Zords into a hole, and they'll come out as the Megazord. That was like the biggest cut corner I think I've ever seen in a fucking movie in my life, and it was magical. But yeah, there you go. We'll see if they've got the budget for Gundam. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is a mouthful to say. The trailer dropped for that. You know what? The first movie, pretty fucking great. And
it was. I enjoyed it.
The trailer for this one looks pretty good. Fucking great. So
yeah, I fucks with it.
Why not? So there you go. And finally here, before we see if Jess got some extras, Mads Mikkelsen announced for the Indiana Jones 5 cast, which I jokingly have here, of course, which probably means that he's never actually seen Indiana Jones before. Because it seems that Mads Mikkelsen has a habit of taking roles for a long-standing series that he's never personally watched, read, or given a fuck about. He just likes getting paid. He shows up, he does his role, he goes home. What the fuck does Mads Mikkelsen do in his spare time? Like, this is a man that's actually makes pretty good money in film. He's in a pretty decent number of productions at this point. And it's like every time somebody talks to him, he's like, I don't even know who the fuck the director is. Like, he doesn't even know who's, like, technically supposed to be telling him what to do. He just shows up on set, and then he leaves off into the fucking mists, and comes back down from, like, Mount Mads Mikkelsen's Olympus once in a while to do another project. And like, I don't know what he does. He spends a lot of time with Hideo Kojima recently, though. We know that much. For sure. But yeah, there you go. You know what? I forgot Indiana Jones 5 was even being made.
I don't even think it's going to happen, man. I really don't.
You don't think it's going to go through? No? Why not? Why not?
It just keeps, I mean...
Are they delaying it over and over again?
It just keeps delaying it. And fucking, Harrison Ford is like fucking 90 years old.
Yeah, but he's too angry to die.
I'm not saying he's going to die, but I mean, holy shit, like... It's just like I don't know. It's just unnecessary. It's very, very unnecessary. So,
well,
anyway,
is there any other movie and TV news?
No,
I didn't miss anything.
Dry. I mean, Black Adam started filming. That happened.
Oh right, yay! Amazing. Maybe that means The Rock can come down off the juice soon, so he doesn't give himself a heart attack.
No, he ain't getting off the juice.
That man is the equivalent of like, some people, it's like you buy the off-brand orange juice and it's not real orange juice. It's like orange juice from concentrate and it's watered down and it doesn't really taste. But then you go home and your parents are thrifty, so they take it out and they water it down even further so to extend the life of the orange juice. That's like your average everyday actor in Hollywood who's told that they have to get a little bit jacked for a role, whatever. They just take a little bit. They have a taste. It's diluted, but they have a taste of the juice. The Rock goes directly to the source in Florida in the orange fields and just bites the oranges straight off the tree and injects that shit straight into the main vein. And he is the size of a fucking house. And if he isn't dead in the ground before 70, I will be shocked. Holy fuck, how much juice can one body fucking take? Dude, his head has changed shape. He's had so much HGH, his face, he's a different human.
Yes.
Than he was before.
Yes.
Shit's crazy. And now it's time for...
tech support.
Ladies and gentlemen, wait, hold on. Stigma in chat. My dad used to put water in skim milk to make it last longer. Stop. Skim milk is already basically water. What are you doing?
Watering down water.
Did he water down the water? Did he take tap water and water it down with more tap water? Holy shit. Let's see what we got here for this week. Carpenter K asks, has your wife or girlfriend ever gotten mad about you saying something about them on the podcast? Do they listen weekly? M does not.
No.
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 No. We could say pretty much whatever here and we're likely to be safe.
Yeah.
Not that I'm still going to risk it, but all the same. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? You gotta...
That's it. That's it.
Fuck around and find out, I believe, is also a popular one going around right now.
Fuck around and find out. There you go. I like that one.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out, bro.
Yeah. 2020 or was it 2020 was the fuck around, and 2021 has been the find out period so far. Danish asks, if you could be dropped into any blue-collar job for a day, what would you choose? Ideally, he said something you've never actually done before.
Blue-collar job.
For
a day?
Yeah, just for a day.
It's a good question. And something that I've never done before.
Yeah. You know, I think I'd like to do, because in a day you can learn a fair amount. If I was going to do it for just a day, I'd want to do something that I could actually, like, learn enough in a day to applicably use and, like, later on down the road. So, like, some trades, if you do it for a day, you're not going to have enough knowledge to fucking do, like, literally anything, but some stuff you could use that knowledge in other places. So, I would say I'd be stuck somewhere between doing plumbing for a day, residential plumbing, or framing, I think would be the two. I have done very minimal of either of those just with Dad, framing and plumbing both, but nothing crazy. So
I've done lots of framing in my time.
Yes, you have. You've done framing, yeah.
On a lot of framing. Jeez, man, that is tough. I would probably say firefighter. I'd do that for a day. I feel like I'd have fun.
Is that considered blue collar?
Maybe not.
I
mean, if I had to pick something else that was just like a little bit more blue collarish, I guess, like man. Fuck.
I wouldn't mind doing some bricklaying too. That's a trade.
With these labor jobs, man.
Well, that's what blue collar is. It's labor jobs. It's manual.
All the manual labor stuff, like,
it's blue collar. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Go work in a fucking coal mine?
I mean, okay, farming.
There you go. Okay.
Farming.
Why not? Crack of dawn. Let's see here. I'm looking for the upvoted ones here first. Oh, geez. All right, Time Tricks asks, hey guys, the QA part of the podcast is called tech support. Related to this, have you ever actually had to perform remote tech support tasks like over the phone or whatever for a less tech-savvy family member or friend, and if so, how did it go?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've like helped my dad, not over the internet, but like showed him a couple things on the computer on how to do things, but other than that, no.
I've never done anything remotely because everyone I've ever done work for, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I do a fair amount of stuff. I still do now. I mean, a lot of people will come to me for stream related shit, like if they're having issues with their capture cards or microphones or webcams or whatever, just software stuff like their OBS or whatever is not doing their thing. But like for family members and stuff, they're all here. And so I've done loads of computer shit. For neighbors, I've even done work for neighbors and whatnot, but that's all been like in person because it's really, I avoid doing anything over the phone if I can, because it's almost impossible to talk to somebody. Like I have a lot of respect for anyone who does like tier 1, tier 2 tech support, that ends up talking to people that are not tech savvy at all, because the shit is just mind numbing. It's almost impossible to talk somebody through.
Yeah.
It's like trying to teach somebody another language on the fly so that they can decode something that's in front of them. Very difficult to do. So no, not much over the phone. Let's see. Dan Jim, about a year ago, I looked around the YouTube comment section for someone having the old removed Live TV Versus stuff, the Cho and Iki series, to name one. Have you received them yet, or have you still sent? I have some stuff. There was a second, I think I mentioned this before. So one guy, I did get a fair amount of the lost material. And then but there's still a couple of missing things. And there was another user that had some of those missing things that they had contacted me first years ago, but I didn't have anywhere to put them at the time. I had literally nowhere to store them. I didn't have the drive space to store all these files. So, because I only just got my network storage here in the last 2 years. And by the time I had it, I went digging through my emails trying to find them again. I couldn't find the original conversation that he and I had for that. So some stuff to this point, there's probably more than just them. Like there's a lot of people that probably have like bits and pieces of the files that were missing, but just 2 people have contacted me specifically about that. And I do have some of it, but there's still some missing files. But I'm not actively re-uploading them on the channel or some shit for that. I mean, there are a lot of missing videos for that shit, and I'm not going to re-upload those files for that purpose. I do have them for my own memes, and for Jeff's if he ever wants to like go back down memory lane. I'm holding on to those files. I've got them on my network storage. I've got almost every video Lag TV has ever done in network storage, as well as most of my own, and of course this podcast, etc. So that when we're old men, we can look at how fucking crazy we were as kids doing stupid shit on the internet. That's because God knows what the internet was going to look like by the time we're fucking 80. Yep. That's gonna be nuts. Let's see. Mark Furry asks, this is just for me, sorry. If you could yeet one tech thing somebody else uses into the sun, what would it be? Fuck.
Mine would be TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok is quite something, isn't it?
That shit is cringe as fuck, man. I'm sorry. It's just this cringe.
People are fucking huge on that platform, though. It's crazy.
I know. It's massive. I mean, maybe I just need to get on the hype.
I'm just a boomer, man. I can't, I'm just a boomer. Man, if it's like a fuck. I would say the things that people make the biggest mistakes with, just from a streaming perspective, the 2 things that I can't stand are the GO XLR is dog shit. Please stop buying the GO XLR.
I've been saying that long before Elgato was even in the picture. That stuff is so, and it pains me. It pains me because like I see so many like established streamers who can obviously afford good quality stuff.
Literally anything.
And they're not even being paid by this company.
No.
And they're just fucking promoting this hot garbage because it's got some RBGs. And then every other day on Twitter, somebody is saying shit about, I'm having some software issues. My fucking shit is not connecting. It's making some weird noises. I had to reinstall this OBS update. Fuck that. The thing is hot.
Dude, it's
garbage.
Ass.
The
preamps are not good. The software is not good. If you want sound effects and shit, you can get yourself a Yamaha 12XHU or whatever it's called. It's like half the price and will make you go do room echoey sounds if you want to sound like God and all whatever the fuck else you want. You can make it happen. All right? And there's no software. You plug it in. Universal USB preamps are 1,000 times better, has onboard compression and 3-knob English style UK EQ, you're gonna sound better. You can still make yourself sound like weird, whatever the fuck you want to sound like, and you don't have to put up with all the software.
Yeah. Let's put it this way: the GO XLR would be an incredible product at $99 or $129.99 max. If it was that price, it's $100. Then I would say, hey guys, listen, if you're on a budget and you're not looking for like, you know, really, really high end stuff, and this shit will like basically do what it is that you need it to do, but at its current at its price,
Hell no.
my God, dude, it's not even, it's no.
What really pains me is they'll buy a GO XLR, and what's the microphone everyone fucking pairs with the shit? A Shure SM7B. Every fucking time. And you know what they don't put between it and the GO XLR? A fucking cloud lifter. And you know what they have to do then? They have to take the GO XLR shitty preamp,
take the gain and go, huh?
What they have to do is they have to take a Sharpie and they have to go down to the knob on the preamp. They have to write 14 below the max. And then they have to push the knob past where the current maximum is to turn it to 14.
Yep.
And if you think you're getting 60 dB of clean preamp.
I'm like, that. Actually, that sounds better.
So stop, please. Stop. God, no, please. You know what's worse, though? The ultimate combo is the GO XLR, the Shure SM7B, but the Shure SM7B is like pointed sideways or off into the fucking distance, and it's like 6 feet from their fucking mouth. I die every time, bro. So that's probably...
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But you'll know that somebody is a new streamer that has a little bit too much money for their own good, or they just got affiliate status when they have a GO XLR with a Shure SM7B, and they in the background they've got the blue and pink fucking hue lights, and then they spent money on a DSLR camera to plug into their that is the beginner streamer pack.
Bro, I've seen tweets over and over and over again where it's just like, hey, I'm happy for people. Like, I'm not fucking
the same
hating on them.
IKEA desk.
I'm just poking some fun at this point. But I mean, hell yeah, whatever floats your boat. And there are tons of people that are perfectly happy with what they got. Great.
Yeah.
But like you see it all the time. It's like, hey, you know, partnered up, got affiliate, time for an upgrade. And then you just see it's this big fucking hunk of plastic garbage with a bunch of lights on there.
Yeah.
And it's the same setup that everybody's got, and it's so generic.
Time to buy an NZXT pre-built computer with a GO XLR, Shure SM7B, some blue and pink fucking hue lights that I control with my totally should buy Elgato Stream Deck. It's the same setup for absolutely everyone. Let's see.
Thing is, man, it's not even an affordable setup.
No, it's so expensive.
Stop spending that much money. Like, go buy yourself a Wave microphone, get yourself a Stream Deck, and call it a day. Literally, call it a day. You're gonna get more for your money, and it's gonna do more. It's gonna sound better. It's just better. Stop the madness. All right.
You know what? As much as I appreciate people using DSLRs for their webcam stuff, because it does look really good, going out and spending like $1,000 on a camera body and $1,500 to $1,800 on a lens to make your webcam look a little better when you're streaming in front of like 30 people and you're an affiliate.
No, it ain't it. I'm sorry. Like unless you got the money to burn, like sure.
The only people that should be doing that are people that are dual purposing it for YouTube, that are doing like a lot of YouTube talking head content. Then it makes sense.
I'm still rocking my same fucking C928 webcam.
Bro, I'm using one that got dipped in fucking oil during a horrible kitchen stream gone wrong.
There you go. There you go. I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm still rocking the same shit.
Look at some of the biggest streamers. Only a couple of them actually use DSLRs. Everyone else is using webcams. So just slow your roll there, big shoots. Don't go too crazy right out the rip. Don't go broke.
I'm telling you, like seeing people get GO XLRs is like the same people that'll buy Razer headphones because PewDiePie wore them in a video. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you get a few massive streamers to just like use no, that ain't it. That ain't it.
It's a little
rough. If it works for you, I'm not hating, but I'm just poking fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just poking fun.
Here's your okay. So here, let me give you some solutions. Okay, let's not just shit all over these young impressionable
Elgato.
streamers.
I've already told them. Wave product.
Elgato, get a Wave. Don't even need a 3. You can get the
Get a
1.
Wave 3. Okay, get the Wave 1. Sure.
Unless you need to like plug into your head, you don't. Just get the 1. Save some money.
Yeah, but Adam, they want that the Go XLR, perks and everything else. You still get the Wave 3 and save tons of money.
Okay, get the Wave 3. Buy yourself a Stream Deck.
Mini. Yeah.
You get folders, so you don't need to have all the buttons. Just fold. Mini Stream Deck. Get yourself any fucking secondhand dirt cheap webcam you can buy. Because you know what the difference maker is with these fucking things? These webcams? Lighting.
That's it.
These look really fucking good still if you have good lighting. I don't have good lighting.
What you can get?
You get
one of these.
One of those.
Just one of these. And guess what? For the same price of your Go XLR, you can get yourself a Wave product, a key light, and a Stream Deck.
Boom.
Under the price of a Go XLR. I'm not shitting you.
Get a little ring light, get some backlighting for like $0 fucking dollars, and you will look, especially because your webcam is going to be fucking 300 pixels across on your fucking stream. Like your camera's only this big on the stream. Just, you know. Let's see. What webcam? Anything. Pretty much that's 1080p. They're all expensive right now, so you're gonna have to buy a secondhand one somewhere. But if it works, it fucking works. Really. Let's see. We kind of answered that one before. Alexa asks, with the good weather coming back, have you guys ever considered moving to Western Canada or another country? You've considered going to Vancouver because you used to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fleeting thought. I mean, I never really considered, I never really said, okay, had like the talk with Kayla and was like, I think it'd be best. Let's just put it this way. I would rather have a vacation home somewhere than move virtually anywhere else. It's such a hard question to answer, because on one hand, home is home. It's like that for anybody. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in New York or California or Vancouver. Some of the most expensive places to fucking live in North America actually are the most expensive places to live in North America. And, home is home. So you're obviously going to be attached to your home in some way, shape, or form, which that's the way I feel about Nova Scotia as well, is it's home. My family's here. It's a different way of life. It's quieter. It's safe. It's home. And I've traveled around decent amount. I'm not like a world-class traveler, but I've been to many places, and all of those places are not home. And I'm not even just saying that because it's home. It's just not the same way of living. I mean, probably the closest way to do it would be to go on the far West Coast and Victoria or something. And yeah, I might get that similar feel. I don't think I would ever pack up my family and move to a different country or a different part of Canada indefinitely. But what I definitely would consider is having a winter place that I could leave Nova Scotia and go there during the winter months, or even in the summer or spring or whatever, go and visit there from time to time. That is about as far as I would ever go, especially now that I'm 34 and I have a family. It's just, if I was going to move, I would have had to have done that 10 years ago. And then it would have made more sense. But now I'm just I'm kind of locked in. So yeah. That's sort of where I'm at.
Yeah, I briefly considered Toronto when I was offered the job for Loblaws to go move out there, because I would have had to have lived in Toronto for the job. Other than that, I briefly considered Calgary after going out and Dad and I doing renovations on my aunt and uncle's place out there. That was back in, oh my god, 2006, I think. You know, there's no ocean there, which is always going to be a struggle. You know, Em doesn't quite understand that when I say that. She's like, you don't even go to the beach. It's like, I don't, it's the thought. The ocean has to be within X number of fucking kilometers or it feels weird. You just don't, you gotta understand. So, yeah, it doesn't have that, but I mean, it's a beautiful spot. And if you're an outdoorsy person at all, or you like walking, even urban walking is better there than it is here because it's a newer city and they don't have to fight with all the bullshit that we have being an older city here and with money. Yeah, I mean, so I considered that once or twice as well, especially because, you know, their taxes are better there and I can do my job anywhere in the country. It doesn't matter where the fuck I am. So, that was a consideration, for sure as well. And then that also, I also considered even more after my cousin Kayla moved out there with her husband, because he already had a house there. And so then now it was like, I would at least have a family member there. So it was even more enticing at that point as to whether or not I'd go. But, you know, it's like Jeff said, you know, I'm not as well traveled as Jeff by any means, and I'm not well traveled at all, really. I mean, I've only been to, you know, a couple of cities in the U.S. I've only been to a few other provinces further west here in Canada, and I've never even gotten a chance yet to go overseas. So, but even with that, it's pretty easy. It's kind of crazy how quickly you can get the vibe of any location just leaving an airport. Like you step foot outside the airport and you can get a vibe for the people pretty fucking quick as soon as you're there. And then you go to your hotel and you spend any amount of time in and around that area. You can get like a fucking feeling for it. The places that I never felt even remotely close to a place that I could live were anywhere in California that I ever flew to, whether it was, you know, for my buddy's wedding here, recently, or when we went to Anaheim, for example. You know, California feels like a fucking alien location to me. And California's a big place. It's a lot of different places. And so maybe there are other places within California that I wouldn't feel that way, but all the locations I've been in California, they've all kind of felt fucking alien to me. I felt out of place like immediately. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but we're also in a province that is, we're even different than most of Canada.
Well,
like,
that's what I mean. So, it's like, I just felt like fucking alien to me.
Yeah, there's an extra bit of separation. I mean, even when I go to different parts of Canada, whether it's Vancouver, whether it's Toronto, Montreal,
even feels weird to me. Not as California weird, but
they're all they just are not Nova Scotia. The people aren't the same. The air isn't the same. It's just not the same. So yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed in Toronto when I went to go visit Hun. We were out walking. He was like, "Let's go for a walk. I'll show you the city." I was like, "All right, great." We go for a walk, and my lungs were like burning. I was like, "What is this feeling?" And he was like, "Oh, that's just the air. You'll get used to it." And I was like, "What?"
It's just pollution. I'll be all right.
I was like, "Excuse me." No, I do not want to get used to that. Thank you, if possible. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you know, there is no place like home, but it's true. The East Coast of Canada has a very particular pace of life that is immediately alien in most other places. I suspect you'd have to go to like some rural locations that are still also coastal in other places to get an even remotely similar feeling.
I feel like if I had to pick a place that I think I would enjoy living, it would have to be somewhere tropical. Like I would have to move to a place like Hawaii.
I've thought about Hawaii before.
Yeah, I would have to move to a place that is so like remote and beautiful and just lots of nature and a sense of community. If I had to pick a spot, it would have to be out in like Hawaii. And I've never even visited there, but just from what I see and there were like vloggers that I used to watch that were like from there, and you could
Yeah.
just kind of feel their way of life. It's like something that I would mesh with. And it would be such a drastic, it would be enough of the same, but such a drastic change in all the best ways
Yeah.
from Nova Scotia
It takes
that
all the best parts of our pace of life and just kind of
ramps them. Yeah,
ramps
just
it up.
ramps it up. So like
Yeah.
I feel like my life would improve there. Like I would just I'd be more relaxed. I'd want to get out and do more. I'd want to just it's that's like the closest place. Everywhere else is going to be faster paced, noisier, louder, just more congested, more just of the stuff that I
Yeah.
only like to deal with when I travel and visit, not when I live.
Yeah, exactly. Mm, 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 mm. I guess this might spin off. I don't know if you've seen any because you've already done a Facebook purge as we discussed last week. But Seth asks, "What's the craziest COVID conspiracy you've heard from someone you know?"
The craziest thing that I heard just like recently, like last month or something, is that COVID was created so that we would all take vaccines, so that the government would be able to um, keep tabs on all of us, and
Tracking.
tracking and I've heard a lot of like people were making the things like, hey, I got my 5G shot, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's a
that
meme.
sort of, yeah, that sort of conspiracy thing where it was like, hey, and now with the passports having mandatory different, people are just like going crazy. So yeah, there was like one guy was like, I'm not taking this thing because I know that's what the government wants and they want to track us all and have us all take this stuff, and all of the people in power, they're acting like they're taking the shot, but they're not. They're just shooting in water or fucking nothing.
They
And
kill themselves if they were injecting water.
yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't fucking know, bro.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, so, oh man. I'd say, honestly, the one that I've heard or seen the most, is like centered around masks, where it's I'm not gonna wear a mask because it's going to give me like a fungal lung, disease or some shit. Or I can't breathe in this mask, and it's like somebody that has zero fucking medical issues whatsoever. The like getting some sort of like a form of like pneumonia or some shit. Yeah, that one fucking kills me because the like if you just think for like 5 seconds, like think of how many doctors and nurses are in a mask for 12 to 16 hours a day. Some of them double masks and in full face shield and full PPE, head to toe.
Yep.
Taped at the wrists and ankles and waists.
Yep.
12, 14, and you're saying that you can't put on a fucking cotton mask for the 35 minutes you're in a grocery store because you're afraid that you're going to get a lung infection.
It's just excuses, man. I'm not even sure anybody really believes that, but they probably do. So
They probably do.
Yeah.
It's fucking strange.
Anyway.
But yeah, the tracking thing is always funny too, because I'm like, whenever somebody says it, I'm like, you are aware that you're holding a phone.
Dude, that's what I wanted to say. Is like, man,
you're using
like,
Facebook right now?
Yeah, are you that fucking stupid? Where like, do you like, dude, if the government wants to know what you're doing and where you're at, they already know. They really do. And if they don't, they can find out very quickly. Like there are, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, on your public profile, writing all this stuff. You're on a cell phone. You're hooked up to a carrier. Dude.
And they're worried about tracking.
And you're worried about tracking from from a vaccine. Stop the madness, man. Stop the madness. Says the same people that are like, "Well, go get their flu shot."
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like, you get your flu shot, are you being tracked?
This is the Great Reset, Jeff.
Yeah. For fuck's sakes.
It's the Great Reset.
Anyway.
Last one comes in from Jorbach. Is there ever a moment in your childhood where you jokingly asked yourself, how the heck are we still alive? Many.
Say that again?
Said, what, is there ever a moment in your childhood, so if you're remembering a moment from your child, or moments from your childhood, where you jokingly ask yourself, how the heck are we still alive?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Several
times. Several times. Yeah.
Several.
Or at least, like, I don't know how I'm not crippled. Like, I don't know how I'm not completely fucked up. But I think almost every child probably has those same, you know, we all get into dumb shit. Do dumb shit.
Yeah, I mean, the top list, you know, for us on the street would be like Street Wars, literally hitting like actual weapons. And no parent, for some reason, ever managed to find out that that was happening. I'm not sure. I don't know how. There's like 30 kids in this fucking street, and they're actually like real weapons. Short of using like a fucking 9mm handgun.
Yeah, it's like I grab a fucking, you know, like a goddamn 6-inch blade from the kitchen. Mom's like, "Hey, what are you doing with that?" "Oh, nothing, just going outside." "Oh, okay, cool. Make sure you bring that back. Don't rust it."
Fun.
And I'm sitting here fucking throwing it at people. Die, motherfucker, die. It's pretty much what we were doing.
God.
I mean, not literally, but not too far from it.
I mean, Travis did throw a knife into my kneecap, so that happened.
That did happen. Yeah, that did happen. I mean, we would, I'm not even joking. We would take rocks and we would biff rocks at each other.
Not small rocks.
No, like boulders. Like we would throw big rocks and try and hit each other. Like, it wasn't even like, you know, where you throw it and you're purposely missing. It's like, I'm
trying to end this motherfucker's career.
Yes. Like, if I hit you, you are fucked. Bad. Like, really, really bad.
Or like we take hostages and put them underneath a wooden lean-to where it'd be like a fucking
boulders on top
with like fucking 40-pound rocks piled up on top, and there'd be a linchpin stick that if they moved, you'd knock the stick out from underneath the fucking platform and fuck them up. We were strange children.
Yeah, we were children, though. I think a lot of kids did dumb shit like that.
I don't know about that last one.
That was intense. I remember that shit, too. That's intense. That's just stupid.
So yeah, I mean, there was a few. I mean, we said, you know, one of our friends lit himself on fire. That one went well. He was no longer our friend after that, by the way. His mother wouldn't allow him to spend. That was the last night I ever saw him. I literally never saw him again. We still went to the same school. I never saw his ass again. He lit himself on fire. It's his own fault. He's fucking crazy.
Dumbass.
Trying to write his name with a bottle of gasoline starting at the fire source was not one of the top 10 most intelligent moments any child's ever fucking had. Lit himself on fire. 2nd-degree burns, no eyebrows. And he walked home by himself. We didn't even walk his ass home.
Just go.
He walked home alone.
You should go and get that looked at. Fucker's on fire, dude.
He looked like a fucking stunt man from a 90s action movie. Walking around on fire. And his mom straight up said, "You don't ever fucking go near those kids.
Don't go near those kids again, ever. Never, ever."
So should we be alive? Probably not.
No.
But here we are. Look, Mom, we made it. And that's it. That's the Technical Elf Podcast. That's last. He did. He fucked. There you go. He fucked around and found out.
Yeah, there it is. Fuck around and find out.
Real fucking quick.
Hell yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's another Tech Elf Podcast. Thank you muchly for stopping by. Patreon.com/LikeTV if you want to help financially support this podcast. Means a lot. Keep voting us up on any platforms you can, giving us ratings whenever possible, and of course, spreading the good word, letting people know that you might think could possibly also enjoy this brand of crazy. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you once again, and until then, stay safe out there. We're almost there. We can see the light at the other side. Peace.
Peace.